How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Minecraft Evolution SMP server. My name, of course, is System Z, and today we are going to be doing something pretty cool. First of all, welcome to your beautiful faces to the show. Make sure to leave a like if you do enjoy after the episode, of course. So I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do for today's episode. You know, we could go to Downtown Evo and build a couple of things, because, you know, that's an ever-expanding project. We could even move the Zico offices like we've needed to. Or we could prank somebody. And you know, a couple of days ago, I was pranked myself by my good old mafia brother, Mini Muka. I don't know if you guys remember, a whole bunch of sand was dropped here in my base. And while it did contain diamonds, I did not appreciate it because it was a little bit too much of a mess. And it actually caused for so much sand to be collected in one chest that it's just honestly insane. I can't believe he actually got this much sand, because most of this is sandstone, right? Well, not most of it, but a good bit of it is sandstone. And you got to think, each one of those are 4 blocks of sand as well. It is absolutely insane. Granted, some of this is what I collected and was in my chest anyways, but still, it's pretty insane. So today, we are going to be getting payback by building something very cool, and let's figure it out what it is. But first, guys, we need to pull a couple of things together, so that way we can get this prank settled. So guys, my name is System Z, this is Minecraft Evolution. Let's get right on into it. Alright, so before we begin, we are actually going to have to grab a couple of things, but before we do that, I do want to first say a huge shout out to Nettie, because I don't know if you guys knew this, I don't know if it's in her episode or not, but a couple of days ago, our first sale was made here at Z's Fabulous Enchanted Tool Shop. That is, of course, a working title, my friends, but we actually sold a sword, which is super awesome, and this is the way I decided to do it. We're going to have the sword that is selected to be sold, as well as the book right beside it with its name and its price in the book. So, for example, this is Skyte's Feather, which of course is sharpness 4 and knockback 2, so it's a decently light sword, but very powerful. The book does say, introducing Skyte's Feather. Named after the great Skyte during a live stream, this sword is light but powerful. Price is 3 diamonds. To pay, place diamonds in the register, take the sword, and leave the book. So whenever we make a sale, we should see a book sitting there without its sword. For example, it might look like this. So that way we know it has been sold and which one was sold. That way we can keep track of things. And the Master Sword, which was named by Vortec during a live stream, was sold. And it had looting 3 and sharpness 4 and all that good stuff. So it was 5 diamonds, and it is actually been sold, as you can see, which is super cool. So thank you, Nettie. I do appreciate that. She also made the suggestion, I believe it was her, to put an ender chest in here almost like an ATM. So I did that during a live stream. Super happy I did, because now we can take these diamonds and put them in our chest. So we've made our first purchase, making this worth it. So I haven't actually told you guys what the plan is yet. You know, we could simply take all of the sand and simply place it back in Mini Muka's base. But that's not creative. That doesn't really fit my scale of things. So, today we're going to build something pretty funny, in my opinion. I was going to do a sand monster, but I just feel like that's something people would do, and it's a bit too typical. So, we are going to build a pile of sand that has fallen over into Minnie's base. It's also going to have a shovel, so it's going to be like I scooped it up, put it back, but it fell over when I was on my way out and I didn't bother cleaning it up. That is essentially the prank he did to me, and I feel like this is a creative spin-off. So the first thing we are going to need to do is collect a couple of bits of red wool and other assortments of wool. So we are going to need to go through this noisy place and do such, because as you can see, there are sheep everywhere and they are all multicolored, which is fantastic. Man, is it so loud in there. Alright, so I have collected all of the goods. We've got plenty of red wool, which is what I do intend on making the actual bucket made out of. We've also got some other materials just in case we do need them. Now I need to actually go get the sand, as well as a couple of other things. But I just feel like this should be a very fun and friendly way to deliver the sand back without giving it all back, of course, because, you know, I really do want to keep some of that sand. I think it's actually pretty cool that he gave me loads of it, but I'm not going to give him the diamonds back. No way, no how. I might give him a little bit, though, admittedly, because he told me he gave me all of his, which is very generous, but hey, his loss, my treasure, right? Give me all of the goods, all of the sand that will be making a gracious return back into his neighborhood. Actually, let's get a little bit of the sandstone as well. That'll help us control the sand a little bit better. All of the goods have been retrieved. We've got plenty of sand now to make this project come to life, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. But first, what in the world is this? This has to be some sort of ice cream shop. Dairy-free options, lemon sorbet, and a mango sorbet. I think that's how you say that word, right? Who in the world built this? Because you know what? It actually looks pretty cool. I'm actually digging this quite a bit. I don't know if this is new or not, but hey, good job whoever built this. I wish it had a name on it, but I guess that's not very customary to do, putting your name on builds. But I think that looks pretty cool. I love the ice cream cone. Anyways, guys, I have not really described this plan too much to you guys. So what I want to do is go over it really quickly. Instead of building it over at his cave of memes, we are actually going to be doing it right here in front of the arena, which it looks like he's done some pretty cool stuff to. Now I don't feel so bad about this being here. At first it looked a little bit weird, but he actually worked it in pretty well. This actually looks pretty cool. I'm actually really happy with this. He's done some shops here on the side. Maybe we can open up a little bakery over here. And he's also done the entrance, it seems. Enter the battle zone. Enter at your own risk. PvP is encouraged. So this is the actual arena. Oh, he's done. Can I actually? Yeah, okay, we can get out. Guys, look at that. He's actually done vines on the side. Mini Muka, you are actually getting very, very talented with this building stuff. He did tell me he feels like he's growing and learning as a builder. So maybe being around myself and Grian, he is learning some cool tricks. But guys, we're going to build it right here in front of the place. It's just going to be a little pail of sand that has fallen over, simply put. And the way we are going to do that is basically build a cylindrical thing that kind of resembles a bucket that's a little bit more tilted to the side and halfway buried in the ground in a way. And just kind of have it look like a huge fallen over bucket with a handle. I think that should be pretty easy to do overall. We might need to get a little bit more red wool, but I think hopefully we should be fine. Before I do anything though, I need to just stare at this little space for a minute and get an idea at the organics that we need to do to make this work. So let me get a chest. Let me get all these items settled in. Let me do a little bit of planning and then we will get started. All right, guys, I can't contain myself because I actually am very excited. I've got a general plan now, so we can actually kind of get started here. This is going to be a rather interesting design, but hopefully it should actually play out decently well. I'm going to start it about here. We'll make it a little bit more symmetric with these here. And basically the trick here is to make the pail actually look like it is a little bit more buried into the ground than probably should be, because it's normally going to be in a beach type environment, so it would be in a very, you know, sandy, kind of easy to push down environment, so it may sink a little bit if it were to fall over, especially if it were to be there for a while. So that might not make any sense as I'm saying it, but hopefully you will see what I mean once we're a little bit closer here to having the shape that we do desire. So we are going to build it a little bit more in ground. I completely messed this up somewhere along the line. I think it was here. Yeah, there we go. So that's a very basic shape here for the back. Then we are going to slowly work our way up by basically tilting it up and having it kind of expand out like a bucket normally would. But that is nevertheless the bottom of it. So in order to do the next step, I really wish I brought some dirt, but you know what? We brought some sand, so that's kind of a plus. It's pretty easy to remove in itself. We're going to build a basic framing for the top, so that way I have a bit of a guideline to work with. So we're going to basically build out like this. It's going to be 3 blocks out, and then it's going to raise up by 1 block, and then be another set of 3 out. And I want to say that is the last set, but I may actually be wrong. I actually feel like we even go up again like so, but I need to make sure before we actually continue on with that is correct. Now, I don't normally do what I'm doing today. I normally build out the entire thing in a creative world to test it out. I didn't do this for that. It's just I've done this several times in the past, so I'm just trying to get, you know, it right on the first try. But that actually looks a little bit weird. Maybe we do try and go out a little bit further to balance it out. Now, it is gonna look rather weird until we actually have the shape anyway, so I can't be too judgmental. But here we go. Hopefully not breaking too many knees. Let's actually eat a little bit of food. This is going to be gigantic if I'm not too careful. I actually think I might want to move it back a little bit But, well, I don't know, because that could be funny. The sand could pour over in here. That might actually be perfect. But this is going to be a lot larger than I thought it would be. Holy smokes. But hopefully it plays out once we're done. Now we need to actually start working on the shape for this thing, at least for the front circle. So remember, a bucket is supposed to start out small and expand kind of outwards throughout all sides. So we have to do that similarly here, and to do that I'm going to build a basic frame that basically is just an expanded version of that circle there. And to do that, I think we follow this pattern. I don't know for sure, but I'm not the best with circles, but I definitely know how to do them. Let's see if we can't get that on this side as well and try and expand it out. So boom, and then we do one here. Then we need to go up under it and continue it from there. Okay, so boom, and then we do one on the sides. We do 3 like that. Then we need to do a set of 2. We would do these here. Boom, boom, go down, of course. Now, like I said, guys, I have done these before. It's a very fun thing to do. If you haven't ever built one of these, I really recommend you give it a shot. I normally would do them as an entrance to a creative world on my survival servers or creative servers. Once I did those a long time ago, it would always be really cool whenever I would add them, because it's just a nice little fun creative touch. But in this case, I think it works really well, because like I said, the idea is that we're delivering the sand back, but it just so happened to spill over whenever we, left it here. But yeah, I'm actually really liking this for a frame. It's going to be a little tough to see what it is from at least, a certain distance, but I think it's pretty understandable. At least once we fill it out, it should be. I think I might actually move it back here just so that way we can get a good angle of it, but otherwise, it'd be really cool to have the sand flowing through here, and I'm still a little bit torn. I think we might just do it here. I think that actually might be a little bit better. Plus, that way it looks like we added it here, and it got knocked over and fell that way, because otherwise it would be a little unrealistic to say that we placed it here unless we wanted it to fall that way. But anyways, guys, let me see if I can't get the actual bucket made, because we've got a couple of things we got to do. For example, I'm actually going to have to bring this in, because otherwise it won't look right. Because since it's tilting, it has to look a little bit more slanted on the back side. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out that well. So to do that, we're going to have to bring in a couple of these blocks. And I do want to show what that looks like before we go here. So let's see if we can't get a good example of that. And I'm trying to figure out how we did this circle. Okay, that looks very weird, but it's coming together. We do that, and then we'd simply fill it in. But let me first get these placed. That way it looks like it never happened. Always clear up your mistakes. You don't want to make it look bad just because you got lazy. But yeah, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. It's still not quite done, but you want this side to be slanted. That way it looks like it's going up. Just really visualize what it might look like. And if you want a good example, take a red Solo cup or a simple plastic cup and just turn it on its side. You'll see kind of what I mean. The lip is going to make it tilt a little bit. But anyways, guys, let me go ahead and build out these details and fill it in, and then we will start placing the sand, which is the most fun part. Yeah, I guess it's somewhat closer now. I really want to do a little bit more to make it look better, but honestly, this is just something he's going to remove anyways, so no need to make it perfect. But you know what? It will work for now. I do want to add some smaller details though, like a handle, and I figured why not give him some sort of treasure? So we're giving him some gold blocks. Only 2 though, because let's be honest, I don't know if it's worth diamonds like he gave me. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to get the handle here, and we're basically just going to put it up on the top. Let me grab some sand as well. I do think it looks relatively good though. I think it could definitely use some work, but you know what? For what we got, I'm pretty sure that this is going to portray exactly what I had in mind anyways, but I figured we would make the little pieces like the bolts that hold in the handle be the gold blocks. That could be really fun. And then a little piece of gray wool, followed by the remaining pieces of wool here, which we will basically just wrap around as simple as possible, just making it look like it's laying on it, which is a very simple thing to achieve in my opinion. And we basically just follow the curves after all. But I do need to make sure it matches up on this side, which it may not. So let's see, it does 2, and then it does 1. Then we got to do one out, and I have a feeling that is where the gray wool goes, but I do want to double check. This is the only thing I hate about symmetry. It's always so annoying, but it looks like we are pretty much good to go here. So we do that with gold on the bottom, and it's a very simple handle design, but effective at that. And now all we need to do is go ahead and fill it with sand, which should be very fun. But first, I want to get some sandstone slabs. That way we can get that extra small amount of detail. All right, so now I've got these slabs and everything. Basically, the first thing we need to do is just fill this first layer up with sand, so that way we actually make it look like it was holding something in the first place, which this is a relatively easy process. We just pile it up in the back. That way it looks like it's actually kind of all falling inwards, kind of as it would with gravity itself. So all we got to do is stack it up and try and make it look decent. We don't have to make it entirely symmetrical, but at least add, you know, maybe some depth in some places and not so much in the others. And basically just bring it out so that way it looks like a ton of sand, and then have it just spill down into the base. And I think that should absolutely be hilarious, and hopefully he finds it funny and not just a pain. Hopefully he's not working over here today. Or on the next episode, because if he did, he's gonna have some clearing out to do. But you know what? I shouldn't think that way, because that's exactly what he did to me. But you know what? It is in all good fun, and after all, we are mafia buddies, so he can't be too mad at me after all. But you know what? We do need to get to work on some of that stuff. I just wanted to say, mafia stuff will be returning very soon. We've got some really cool ideas that we're working on. But anyways, guys, I do want to add a little bit more detail to this and expand it just a little bit more. Yeah, that works a little bit better. It looks like a whole bunch of sand that kind of spilled out here. And then we can slowly kind of bring it out, which I'm going to do some cool tricks here to make this look relatively interesting. But we can first kind of bring this out just to make it look like the sand is following a specific shape here. And maybe it's thicker in some places than the others. But we can start spreading it out as well, because I do want to add some sand around it as well. But we'll do that kind of side first and just make this look like a little bit more thin areas of sand, and just have it follow this curve as we go downstairs here. And just to add a little bit more room to make it look, you know, very sandy, I figured maybe it would be best to blend in the sand with the actual concrete, just so it really looks like it's taking it over. And I think that should be very easy to accomplish here, as we are doing. We also need to add a couple of layers here just to add a little bit more detail to it and make it look very varied in level and all that good stuff. And I need more sandstone slabs. There we go. Should be all good to go. You know, I love doing pranks. I just never come up with good ideas. So if you guys ever have any ideas, let me know, because I would be very happy to do them. They are one of my favorite parts of multiplayer after all, because it's always a good way to get a good laugh out of somebody, but also get payback, because that's exactly what we're doing here. You know what? I do want to actually fix this. I feel like this is a little bit weird looking, so let's do that. And then maybe we even add some sand, you know, piled up in here. Really make it look like it flew out almost like a wave and then splashed against the wall here. That might be pretty good, so we'll just kind of play with it as far as the shape goes, and maybe even have it up on the leaves a little bit to make it look like it's really been splashing around. And that's the main thing, is splash damage. We just want as much cleanup as possible, which is relatively easy to accomplish, like I have been saying. And now we just need to put very small amounts of it kind of around the place and just embed it into the ground, just to really blend it all together. So now I just need to get all of the smaller details in place. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and get all of the sand placed, try and get all the extra details done, basically finishing the prank on its own, and then we'll go ahead and do the signs. Yeah, I am pretty proud of that, if I do have to say so myself. I think it looks pretty cool. We've got all of the sand in there. We've also got the tilted over pail, and then of course a shovel attached on the side, which I thought cyan wool would really bring out the colors in this build. And it is just slightly slanted and stabbed into the ground as well, which I think looks pretty cool. But what we need to do now is actually place the sign, that way he knows it was us. But what I'd like to do is actually do a book and quill. So we are actually going to need a chest first, which should be relatively easy to make. I don't even know if we actually have enough. Yeah, we should be good. So we just need a solid chest. So bada boom, just like that. Perfect amount, actually. And then we've also got a redstone lamp that was left over from his build, so we can actually recycle it. That way we're not wasting it, and we can give it back to him. Use that for a little bit of lighting, and now we can put our book in here as well as some sand. So now we need to write, Dearest Minnie, because, you know, he's dear to me. We've got our series together after all. You know, you guys know the Minnie and Z fad. But, Dearest Minnie, I was trying to, no, we gotta be more proper. In an effort to deliver back your hard earned sand, I accidentally knocked over the very bucket containing said sand. I hope you don't mind the mess. Signed, I wish I could do a really cool signature here, but I can't because the old stuff is very bad. Signed, Z. So, Dearest Minnie, in an effort to deliver back your hard-earned sand, I accidentally knocked over the very bucket containing said sand. I hope you don't mind the mess. Signed, System Z. Whoops. There we go. Sign and close, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put that in the center as well as a whole bunch of sand. I actually wish I had more sand here, but I'm not going to have enough to make this look really cool. But what we can do is actually just kind of splash it around, you know, really kind of get some funny looking shapes in here. That way maybe it looks like there's sand even inside the chest. That way it doesn't just look like a chest containing sand, but instead a chest that has sand falling around all inside of it. Just like this. And what we can even do is just combine some of them. That way we don't have as much in some areas as others. And you know what? I'm really digging it. I really like it so far. It's looking pretty cool. Looks a little bit more natural this way anyways. Now, do we have room for this one? We do, and there it is. So that is the sand that we delivered. Definitely not all of it, because we, of course, keep some of it. But that way we have the book in there for him to read. We have the gold blocks on the side, the very poor stuff that he can collect if he wants it. But overall, guys, I think this prank has been completed. And guys, if you do want to see more stuff like this, please leave a like down below and a comment with other pranks that we can pull on the other players of Minecraft Evolution. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. My name, of course, has been System Z. Make sure to go check out Minnie's channel for his reaction. I'm very excited to see what he thinks. But guys, that is going to do it for today. My name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.